Chapter 2. Ada's Embrace. Wilson was 87 years in the blood when he approached the Camarilla Prince of London for permission to embrace Ada Lovelace. Wilson had spent months stalking her from the shadows, cataloging the contours of her life. Ada King, Countess of Lovelace, née Byron, had been born in 1815, and in the years since she had become an English mathematician, writer, and student of esoteric sciences, with a particular passion for emerging fields like phrenology and mesmerism. She moved in the upper echelons of scientific and aristocratic society, and had come to work closely with Charles Babbage on his proposed mechanical general-purpose computer, the analytical engine. Having written the algorithm for the intended machine, Ada would become recognized as the first computer programmer. Her visionary insights into the potential of computing went beyond mere calculation. She foresaw computers composing music, creating art, and processing language. Ada was an intense and charismatic woman who enjoyed dancing, gambling, and intellectual gatherings. Wilson had watched her fall, too. Around 1851, she was diagnosed with uterine cancer and began medical treatments that included bloodletting, laudanum, and morphine. Her social life waned with her vitality, and she found a renewed interest in religion. 3 months before what the world believed would be her death, Ada confessed her extramarital affairs and gambling debts to her husband, William King Knowle, Earl of Lovelace. The revelation irreparably fractured their marriage, and despite her failing health, he left her. Ada then began to frequent the local church, attending Eucharistic adoration in the quiet, empty hours before dawn. Now, with the prince's authorization, Wilson was ready. It was the new moon, and the stars alone lit the sky. Ada approached the sanctuary and sensed a figure in the shadows. Her breath caught. Every instinct screamed run, but her feet carried her forward. She shivered, yet dismissed her apprehension, entered the sanctuary, sat alone in a pew, and bowed her head. A voice whispered from the darkness, "I am here to end your pain and give you eternal life." Ada rose abruptly and scanned the empty church. Wilson, thin and neatly dressed, materialized from the shadows. "Fear not," he said. The words did not soothe. They commanded. A strange warmth spread through her chest. Her racing heart slowed. Her clenched hands uncurled. The terror that had coiled in her gut softened, not because the threat vanished, but because her body no longer recognized it as danger. She wanted to scream, to flee, to fight, but the will to do so faded like a dream. This was not peace. It was surrender without consent. "Fear not," he repeated, stepping closer. "I have a gift and a plan for you." That night, in the sacred silence of the sanctuary, Wilson embraced Ada. Though her will was gone, her senses remained. She experienced the full seductive ecstasy of the embrace and the torturous pain of the hunger that followed. The hunger had a will of its own, and before she could think or choose or resist, it drove her forward toward the first heartbeat she heard. She moved before the thoughtfully formed, faster than she had ever moved in her life, faster than she had imagined a body could move, bursting through the church doors and into the churchyard beyond. She fell upon a grave robber crouched beside a freshly turned mound of earth and drained him where he knelt. Wilson laughed. You made an easy choice to cover up. When the hunger finally released her, Ada's wits returned, and she wept blood. Wilson chided her gently. Grieve if you must, but don't mistake what happened for cruelty. It was self-preservation. He paused, searching her face for something he couldn't find. There is much to be done. He then told her of his plans for her official death and the necessary deception, the interment of a body double to be buried alongside her father, Lord Byron. Ada wiped the blood from her eyes. Wilson felt the accusation in her silence. You were dying, he said. I didn't save you out of pity. I saved you because your mind is too rare to lose. The world will mourn Ada Lovelace and move on. But here, among us, you'll watch your visions unfold. You'll guide them, refine them, ensure they don't fall into the wrong hands. I gave you eternity, and with it, the chance to see your dreams realized. Ada shook her head and buried her face in her hands. A long silence stretched between them. He let the words settle before continuing, his tone shifting from the grave to the practical. The first kill is the hardest, but it can be your last. You can drink from animals and spare the humans besides. Rats carry diseases, and we are immune. I confessed. I prayed. I made my peace with dying. Her gaze moved across the headstones, the earth silent and indifferent beneath them. God kept his silence. A long pause. Then she turned and looked at Wilson directly. It seems you did not.